The unexpected and untimely death of Senator Lindsey Graham truly threw off the entire medical community, me included. When you heard that an elderly gentleman took a prolonged plane flight, then went home, didn't feel well, collapsed, and went into cardiac arrest, you would have to think that the most likely etiology was they developed a deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot in the leg during a prolonged flight. And then when they started moving around, broke a piece of that clot free, which went to the pulmonary artery, and they died of a pulmonary embolism. However, the initial pathology reports from the coroner's office show that he died of an aortic dissection. Now, there's a lot of misinformation out there and a lot of wrong videos. They're saying that he died of an aortic aneurysm rupture or a dissecting aortic aneurysm. That's a completely different medical condition. The report said that it was a pure aortic dissection. I'm going to discuss exactly what an aortic dissection is. Who are the likely people to get it? How does it present? And what can you do about it? Hi, I'm Dr. Messina, and early in my career, I did a fellowship in cardiac anesthesia. And I was intimately involved in thoracic aortic aneurysms, aortic dissections, and coronary artery bypass and grafting. So we're going to discuss in this video exactly what an aortic dissection is, who gets it, how does it present, and what can you actually do about it. If you like my content, before we get started, give me a thumbs up, hit the bell, click subscribe, and let's go. The arterial system of the body is designed to handle high pressure. The arterial anatomy is very different than the anatomy of a vein in that it has a muscular layer. Now, our entire circulatory system has a continuous endothelial lining called the intima, even in the chambers of our heart. And that continuous endothelial lining allows for what's called a closed vascular system. It also allows for blood and all its cellular constituents to flow through all our arteries, veins, and capillaries smoothly without scraping against the walls and forming clots. However, sometimes this intima gets a tear. And as the blood passes through it, some of its cells start to tear it worse and worse. It becomes very painful. Eventually, the blood preferentially goes between the muscular layer and that layer of endothelial cells that I talked about. And it creates a false lumen. You could easily demonstrate this with a roll of Kirkland paper towels. Here's the lumen. This is where the blood should flow. This is the muscular layer of the artery, and blood, instead of flowing through there, starts to go into the side. And it creates an artificial lumen that doesn't reconnect to the circulatory system. Therefore, there's no longer any blood flow going to the end organ. Now, you've all seen this, by the way, and after I tell you, and you hear it from the horse's mouth, please, no comments about my weight, you'll know that you've seen an aortic dissection in your own backyard. Think back to those clear hoses that have that little ropey material in the middle of it. Eventually, the central core fails and the water goes between the rope and the clear outside. And it gets all fat. And then if you notice, nothing comes out of the end of the hose anymore. That's exactly what happens with an aortic dissection. The aortic dissection is a very serious medical situation. 50% of the people that have a dissection at home do not make it to the emergency room. And the ones that do make it to the emergency room, even the ones that get to the operating room, only about 5% survive. We get aortic dissections for a few different reasons. The most common reason would be hypertension, followed by atherosclerotic heart disease. Then collagen vascular diseases, vasculitis where the vessels are actually inflamed, and of course trauma. Your symptoms are going to be dependent on the location of the aortic dissection. Aortic dissections are of two types, type A and type B. Type A starts just after the aortic valve, and a dissection of that area can allow blood to go back into the heart, going into space between the heart itself and the pericardium, a sac around the heart. The problem with that is when the heart contracts, that pericardium is filled with blood. The heart can't expand again to get another blood volume in it. And in a few beats, your heart is going to be completely exsanguinated and you'll die. If the aortic dissection is at the coronary arteries, you'll cut the blood flow off to your heart and have a significant myocardial infarction or heart attack. If it occurs higher up near the aortic arch, where the blood vessels feed the brain, you will have a stroke. Now, these areas usually give you an intense chest pain with a tearing sensation. If it happens to be higher up near the arch, that pain also might be in the shoulder and neck area. The type B dissection is after the aortic arch in what's called the descending thoracic aorta. And a dissection in that area will present with sudden, severe back pain behind your back, between your scapula and the lower ribs. And it'll be a very painful, tearing type pain. The treatment for an aortic dissection is surgical. Now, if it's a small dissection that's under control, it's possible that it can heal, but you would have to maintain a lower blood pressure and keep the patient very comfortable. And the only surgeon that does these aortic dissections will be a cardiothoracic surgeon, not a regular vascular surgeon. It would have to be a surgeon that does coronary artery bypassing, thoracic aorta replacement, and repair. If you present to the emergency room, you would have to hope that they have an operating room prepared for a thoracic surgery like this and have a cardiovascular thoracic surgeon available. If they don't, they'll have to arrange a transfer and to try to keep the patient as comfortable as possible and mechanically lowering their blood pressure using vasodilators. Unfortunately, this is quite a severe event and usually fatal. Now, it's fairly common enough that every emergency room in the country has seen this. But in general, it happens in about 2 to 3.4 out of every 100,000 individuals. And most of those individuals will have those pre-existing conditions to set them up for an aortic dissection. In closing, I'd like to dedicate this video to my former professor, colleague, and friend, Dr. Ramon S. Grillo. He was the biology professor and chairman of the Department of Biology at Adelphi University in the 70s and in the 80s. He went from being a professor to me, to a colleague, to a cherished friend, and unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. He had a little gotcha question, and that was, why do we have a closed vascular system? And everyone would come up with things like we have arteries and veins all attached and capillaries, and that wasn't the answer. The answer was we have a continuous endothelial lining. So I finally got the video that could mention Dr. Grillo. So Doc, wherever you are, this one was for you.